It is a beautiful race weekend here at Sonoma Raceway. And for those of you that have been following us for a while, know that I am a motorsports attorney. I've been getting a lot of questions lately regarding the registration of a race team, whether or not it's possible, and a lot of questions or a lot of comments regarding the fact that no, you can't because it's just a hobby. So I wanted to take a couple minutes and get a little bit of a break from the race weekend chaos in order to cover a few things for you to help demystify the fact that no, in fact, racing can be a legitimate and profitable business. It is not just a hobby. Like I said, one of the biggest myths that I keep hearing is the fact that racing is just a hobby and you cannot make a legitimate and profitable business from the sport. But you actually, in fact, can. I mean, if you just look around here, there are a ton of merch trailers that have to do with the actual teams themselves. So while in fact the revenue that's coming from the race teams is from winning or start money, revenue also comes in the form of sponsorships, it comes in the form of merch sales and fan clubs and content creation. Also, if you go down and you look in the pits, you can't tell me there's millions of dollars of equipment and toters and trucks down there, that's merely just a hobby. And that because it's a hobby, you can't get the full benefits of having a business and the benefits that come from having and running a business. There is millions of dollars in trucks and equipment behind me here in the pits at Sonoma Raceway. And last night, the Supers raced for $20,000, while tonight they're racing for $53,000. That does not sound like just a hobby to me. This is a lot of assets and there's a lot of liability because it's an incredibly dangerous sport. And so with that, you need the protections that come from having a business instead of just running your race team under your own name or under some sort of DBA. If you have a race team and you want to register a business, then what exactly are the rules? What differentiates from having a hobby to having a business? Does it have to be that you're bringing in millions of dollars or spending millions of dollars? No, absolutely not. The only rule with registering a business with the Secretary of State within the state you want to have your business in is the fact that you are going to reasonably attempt to make a profit. That doesn't mean that you make a profit every single year. It doesn't mean that you make a large profit. It just means that you're incurring expenses with the sole purpose of generating revenue with the ultimate goal of making a profit. So with race teams, it's incredibly expensive. But while there are a lot of great races out there that have big purses now, for the most part, your revenue and your income is going to be coming from other sources, such as merchandise sales, content creation, from sponsorships, brand endorsements. Winnings is just part of it. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I can't have a legitimate business because I suck at racing and I never win, that's okay, that doesn't matter. Because really the key is whether or not through your racing business you can generate any revenue, which ultimately can then generate a profit. So before you know it, with the right business strategy and the intentionality of wanting to earn more money, you're going to find yourself earning a profit. It might be a small one, but that's just where that business strategy comes into play, is to make sure that you're making the right decisions in order to lead you down that road. All right, now that you know that yes, you can in fact have a legitimate business with your race team, you know, the next question really is, why should you? Because with having a business, there is a lot of formalities that come into play with it. And there's a lot of things that you need to do. There's some paperwork, there's some expenses. Some things are more expensive. So why should you register a business for your race team? You know, there's three main reasons that we look at. One is the fact that it provides liability protection and debt protection for you personally. When you register a business and you have something outside of a sole proprietorship, you're saying that this other entity, this business, the race team, is responsible for its own debts. This race team, if there is any liabilities that might occur, such as someone getting hurt or someone getting injured, something happening at the track or something happening while you're traveling, that is the race team's assets are what's going to get triggered and what potentially could have to pay for it, rather than them being able to come after your own home or your own land. So you want to make sure that you're compartmentalizing everything and you're keeping everything within the race business for the race business. why you want to register a business is because it provides, with that extra work and with those formalities, it provides that extra evidence you need in order to show, the IRS, to show the government, to show sponsors that you are a legitimate business and you are not just in fact a hobby, that you're going to take things seriously, and it provides that extra protection to make sure that, yes, in fact, this is something that's separate and apart from you. Then the last reason why you should register a business is because it provides that extra level of, professionalism to a sponsor. When a sponsor is sponsoring your team, they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. What they want is really advertisement, and they want exposure. They want exposure to your audience, or the audience that you can reach. Now, they're going to get flagged by the IRS if they're writing a $10,000, $30,000, $50,000 check to Joe Schmo. But if it is advertising to another legitimate company that is using those funds to advertise, that's a lot easier, and it's not going to raise as many red flags. So for sponsors, especially if they're really professional organizations, and it's not just some friend or some family member that's sponsoring your team, they want to see that you actually have those formalities in place. So to summarize, you can have a legitimate business for a race team. It is not just a hobby. In order to have a legitimate business, you want to make sure that you are reasonably attempted to make a profit. And then you can register with your Secretary of State. The reasons why you want to do so are because it protects you in liability, it helps establish that you are a legitimate business and you are not just a hobby, so that you can get those tax advantages and those liability protections, and it also opens doors to having more and better sponsorships. If you want to learn more about the business of racing, make sure that you hit that bell so that you're notified next time we post. Make sure that you subscribe and also engage with the content. Let me know if you have any questions. I do, as a general rule, I don't provide legal advice on my social media channels. But if you have any questions, or if there's any topics that you want me to discuss either here or on any of the other social media channels, comment below and let me know, because that's going to help drive what the interest is for the next videos that we make. Until next time, we hope that you have a great race weekend too.